It's time for us to take back our communities and create unity. Community vibes with BrownEyes. Come take a walk with me. Community vibes with BrownEyes. Get it, King T Finesse. We hit the streets running. You know we coming. Building with knowledge to inform, to bring the love in. It's the unity in our community. Reform, move on to be strong. It takes you and me. Bring the issues, let's talk about it. Make a plan, bring it to life and never doubt it. To inspire, keep you going higher. Words put to action, fuel to the fire. Life gets better when we do it together. BrownEyes, King T Finesse, time to get up. Get up. For everyone the best. Hit it, King T Finesse. Join in and catch the vibe. Yeah. Welcome. We got another episode of Community Vibes with BrownEyes, and I want to thank you all for taking out your wonderful time and tuning in today for another great show. First of all, my name is BrownEyes, and I am your host tonight, and that's a delight to do because of what Community Vibes is all about. And Community Vibes with BrownEyes is a project designated to reach into the depths of the community to shine light on those who are often overlooked. You know, people like leaders, activists, nonprofit organizations, musicians, video performers, and physical performers, and young people. People just like you and me who decided to step out of their homes and into the communities with their gifts and their ideas to make special things happen that people need in the community. So it is our desire that we not only just come together to talk about, this, but to also shine light on those people and highlight the great things that are being done in our communities. And that's what Community Vibes with BrownEyes is all about. And we here to vibe with you. I have some wonderful, lovely guests today. Give them a round of applause. I'm about to introduce them to you soon. We have Being About God's Business, Antionette Green, the founder. We have her assistant, Daphne Bishop. And over here to my left, your right, we have Kim Elvin, who is a social worker that has worked with multiple nonprofits, facilitating homeless vets, women, children, and families. So we got a lot to unpack today and a lot to talk about. Much needed conversation. As we know, this is a growing issue going on in our communities. But before I get into that, I want to give a shout out to my supporters and my sponsors. First off, shout out to Connect Us Youth Program in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Thank you all, Pam Lewis and Pam Hafer and the youth team for always supporting Community Vibes with BrownEyes. I also want to give a shout out to Minx Gold. Yes, I got to give a shout out to Minx Gold because she's the one who puts all the wonderful jewelry on me and makes me shine bright. And if you ever want to get some accessories for any event, for daily wear, you can go to her Minx Gold. Want to give a shout out to Shalik the Beat Shop. Gotta give a shout out to Shalik the Beat Shop. He created the video that intros this show, and also he's an engineer, so if you're looking for a place to record your music or to buy some t-shirts, he does everything. Want to give a shout out to him. And last but not least, to the very own master of music, King T Finesse Music. Give a shout out to King T Finesse, great producer, great artist. If you're ever looking for some great music to something you want to write, to a project that you're doing, you can always see King T Finesse, and their information will be under this video so that you can find those links. But we're going to come to our topic of the show today. The topic today is Houseless and Hungry, a crisis in our neighborhoods. I mean, in every neighborhood, in every state, all across America. There has always been a crisis with hunger and housing in our environment, but it has gotten worse since the pandemic. So many people lost their jobs, and for various reasons why people are in need for food and shelter. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. But I want to run the video at the top of this conversation so you can get some information about what's going on out there with being hungry and being houseless. Many people bridge hunger and houselessness together, but although the issues are closely related, we need to be aware that a person or family does not have to be experiencing houselessness to be hungry. More than 42 million Americans are food insecure, meaning they don't have access to an adequate supply of nutritious, affordable food. Once again, I emphasize nutritious and affordable. According to the National Alliance to End Houselessness, over 580,000 Americans experienced houselessness on a single night in 2020 during the height of the COVID pandemic. Hunger often precedes houselessness because people who are forced to decide between paying for housing or groceries will more often than not choose having a roof over their heads. Both hunger and houselessness often have a distinct cause and can have a profound impact on different segments of the population. 1 in 6 Americans are food insecure. Nearly 1 in 4 households experience food insecurity due to the pandemic. Almost 14 million American children are unsure of where their next meal will come. In addition to children, families, and single people, veterans who served our country are amongst those who are houseless and hungry today. Social isolation and lack of support are major risk factors among U.S. vets. There are many transitional causes that led vets to become houseless and hungry. There has been continuing efforts to reduce the number of houseless vets, yet there are around 40,000 homeless vets in the U.S. today. This issue exists in every single state and county in America. Right here in New Jersey, in Bergen County, 9% of children live below the poverty level, and over 27,000 children are eligible for free reduced price school meals. Most, if not all, depend on those meals daily. In Passaic County, 27% of children live below poverty, with almost 49,000 being eligible for free and reduced price school meals. Many other counties in the area have the same statistics. In Essex County, which has the highest rate of houseless people, there are over 70,000 children and counting eligible for free reduced price school meals. This is most certainly a time where there is an all-around need for this houseless and hunger crisis in our neighborhoods to be addressed. We need to create more ways and opportunities with those who have boots on the ground, assisting those in need by shining light on this issue. We need to promote advocacy for better living and resources. After all, for most of us, we are only a paycheck away from facing similar situations. Join the conversation today, right here on Community Vibes with BrownEyes. Houseless and hungry, a crisis in our neighborhoods. Ooh, boy, I tell you. I mean, that's deep. I mean, we talking about 70,000 children and counting that, look to school lunches, to get food, or if they're not in school, they may not eat, and their families that may not have food. So, I just, I'm at a loss for words, because this is supposed to be America, a place where, this doesn't happen. Everybody in the world thinks that we have everything and this is the golden ticket, but yet and still they don't know about the families and the people here, and you don't have to be houseless to be hungry. You have people who have, live in a house, but they don't have any food. They can't afford. They have to make choices on what to buy, food or a house or some type of apartment or security for a shelter for themselves. So it's just a deep situation. And before we really get into, the whole topic of everything, I want each of you, to just introduce yourself and tell me who you are, what you do, and just a little bit about where you've worked and where you grew up at and how it was when growing up to inspire you to even want to be a servant in the community, because that's what we are. You know, even me doing this show is serving the community because I'm trying to make people aware and people connect so that we can make change in the environment. So we're going to start out. Well, let's start out with Daphne.
Okay, I was born and raised in the Bronx, in New York, yeah. And I came here about 3 years ago. I moved here. I work for Irvington Public Library.
Irvington,
yeah.
That's my city.
Shout out to Irvington.
Shout out to Irvington, Mayor Boss. Okay.
Yeah, and I've been there, like I say, for 15 years. And I love to help people, and this is what I do when I'm at the library. I help people. So I met Antionette, and she was helping people, and we'll go into that later. But yeah, this is what I love to do.
Well,
and what I was made to do.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for hearing and heeding to the call and stepping out to join somebody somewhere to do something for somebody else, because that's a great thing, and people don't know whether how big or small, it means a lot to people. So we're going to move it over to Antionette, the founder.
Hi, I'm Antionette. I was born and raised in Newark.
Newark.
Yes.
Newark, give it out for Roz Baraka. My grandparents are all born and raised in Newark, New Jersey.
And I transitioned to Irvington, so
okay.
I'm an Irvingtonite. Yes. But I specialize in food. I always cooked since I was 14, you know, so I like to cook. And I always been concerned about other people when I was coming up. You know, my heart went out to elderly people, children, and things of that nature. But I just answered the call. You know, God called me to feed His people, and I'm blessed to do it, and blessed to have Daphne to help me, along with others. It's for others, right, that come out with us.
Well, I guess that's why you call yourself being about God's business, because that's what it's all about, you know, and that's a wonderful thing. Thank you, too, for heeding the call, and I'm sure that people really appreciate you when you come out there and do what it is that you do, and they need that. They need that, because I know if it was me and I was out there and I was in need, somebody came and had something for me to eat out of the love of their heart, it would mean so much to me. So thank you. Also, so we're going to move over to Miss Kim Elvin. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, good evening. Thanks for having me. I'm a native New Yorker, born and raised in Queens, New York.
Queens? I'm from Queens, so I rock away in the house.
Transported to the Jersey Shore. Navy veteran. Spent 4 years in the military and really struggled to try and find my way after I got out of the military, as many veterans do. And for the last 30 years, I found a home in social services. So I've been providing services to homeless families, homeless veterans, senior citizens trying to get back into the workforce, NYCHA residents trying to get into the workforce. Recently worked in the Bronx for 3 years.
Wow. See, we all connected some kind of way.
You know, pretty much working with the homeless and helping people to become self-sufficient. And also with the work of people in the community like you guys, you know, working together to make it happen.
Definitely. So we got some wonderful ladies here that are doing some wonderful things. And I'm going to tell you right now, people might think, oh, you know, they're out there helping, you know, people who are houseless. And I say houseless because, you know, the home is where the heart is. You know, you could not have a house and live with a family member and still, you know, that's your home. You know, some people that live in the street created their own little shelter or whatever. And to them, that's home. You know, so I say that people don't have a house, they're houseless. So that's why I say houseless, because homeless could mean a whole nother thing, emotionally and physically. So thank you, ladies, for everything you do, and I'm sure everybody else appreciates it. So I want to start with Kim. I want to ask you, you know, how, you know, about you have a very long history, you know, from the Navy, from, you know, working with multiple nonprofit organizations, and I'm sure you have dealt with so many people. And I know it's not easy because, you know, when you deal with people who are in distress, you know, it's a lot of emotions involved in that. So just give me a bit about your history and what you experienced, you know, working with, especially with houseless vets. Like, I can't believe in America that so many veterans who put their life on the line to fight for this country are sleeping on the streets and under bridges. Like, a lot of people in the world out there don't know that. They would never think that's happening here in this great country, but it does happen, and there's a lot of reasons why that happened. So let me turn it over to you, and tell me a little bit about your path through that.
I fell into this quite by mistake. Went into the military. My father's a World War II veteran. Didn't want me to join the military. Second generation, born in this country. They wanted me to go to college, be a doctor. Wasn't for me. So I joined the military, and like I said, I stumbled into social services, and that's where I found my home. I started working with homeless women and children in a transitional housing program. And that was tough, watching people in our community. Again, you don't think that this should happen in the community. I would meet with young ladies who would come in, and you sit down and talk to them, and they have a high school diploma, but yet and still they can't read and write. So you're like, what's wrong with the system? How does this happen? You talk about how does it happen to veterans, but how do you get out of high school and not be able to read and write? And in that disparity in education really is where it starts. If we're going to solve these problems in our communities, we have to have equal education. Right. I went on from there to working in workforce development, and I worked with houselessness. I like that.
Yes.
The big thing was housing first. And I kept saying, well, how can people stay housed if they don't have education and if they don't have employment? So I decided to venture off into workforce development to see what that looked like. The same issues, working with people that were homeless, and that's how I started working with veterans. I was helping them not so much to get housing, but helping them to get back into the workforce once they transition from the military. When you ask how does that happen, it's poor planning. As much as you like to say the government should have a better handle on those transitioning skills that they give to veterans, there's a whole period of time where they indoctrinate a young woman or young man into the military, but you have about 6 weeks before they transition you out into the civilian world again. And most of those young people went into the military as 18, 19-year-olds, don't have the skills, don't know what it's like to live on their own. So it's almost like we're going to give you 6 weeks, and then you're going to go out there, you're going to find a job, you're going to get housing. That's not what happens.
Right.
Many of the veterans come out, they have no idea where to go.
Wow, it's not a realistic goal.
No, and many veterans join the military to kind of get away from things. So if you talk to veterans, they're trying to get away from situations that were not so positive. So once they get out, there's really no place to go back to. It's not like you can go home because that's why you joined the military in the first place.
Right.
So, it's really connecting housing, education, employment. And I find that in social services, they like to put everything in a box. The idea is open the box and look at people holistically and look at it from every perspective. And the problem that I think we have in our country is that there's so much red tape and bureaucracy. The people who fund the programs don't talk to the other people who fund this program.
Right.
And then the people who write the policies for these programs have never been to the Bronx. They've never been to Newark. They've never been to Irvington.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, they don't know what they're writing these policies for, or how they're impacting the community that they're writing these policies for.
Right. And I don't understand that because the people in the community are the ones who know what the need is, like being about God's business. Like they're in the communities, they know where the issue is, with whom the issue is with, and where to go. So I don't understand why when people say they want to do something for the community, whether it be government or any type of organization that has funding, how come they don't sit down with the people in the community? And a lot of times, a lot of it is about, as sorry as I hate to say it, is about paying profiteering. We have funding, and we want to make it look like it's for certain people. Right. But we're going to do a little something, but it ain't going to really do anything because we're not going to use all the money for that something. Exactly. And I've seen that happen a lot. I grew up in a poor community as well. But, I'm sure that you've seen, working with veterans, parent, women, children, families. People don't understand that there's a lot of reasons why people become, houseless, because people look at them and say, oh, they must have did something wrong. They didn't go to school, so that's what they get. They're lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want, but they forget about all kind of things. I'm talking about domestic violence. People had to flee from their homes. I'm talking about mental problems that a lot of people, and especially in the poor communities, they don't have enough money to have health insurance sometimes. How are they going to have money to go see a mental specialist, or a doctor to talk to somebody, And then you got people who got all types of illnesses, disability could cause you to be homeless. And I myself was looking for a house this year, and I was got a loan, a mortgage approval, for $300,000, and I still couldn't find a house.
You can't.
So, who can afford a house? Exactly. And now with the pandemic, we have the problem that they're talking about, that they don't have enough affordable houses for people like me who I work every day. I'm not lazy. I've been working for years, but I can't even afford my own house. So I have to live in these apartments where I'm making someone else rich. I can't get my own house and pay taxes and be of a contribution to the county because they're not allowing me, with the affordability to be able to get any house. So it's going to be more people who are going to be homeless or in need, or houseless, in need of some type of assistance.
And it's funny you said that. I mean, like I said, I think I went full circle. I started with homeless families, went into workforce development, worked with homeless veterans, and like I said, just recently I left the Bronx to come back, and work with homeless families again, because that's where my passion is. And I was appalled to find out, when I got back to the very program I started in 30 years ago, I was shocked that all of the clients were getting these vouchers, emergency housing vouchers from the state. But the vouchers really aren't any good.
They don't cover the price.
They can't find a house an apartment that will take the voucher. The voucher for in Monmouth County, let's just say Neptune, Asbury Park, Long Branch, $1,300 for one bedroom. If you look on Zillow right now, the average one bedroom is $2,100.
Yes, they went way up.
And that is because, during COVID, people left the city, they fled the city, they wanted to be someplace where they had space. And so these landlords, they're taking advantage of this situation.
They're taking advantage of them.
And the landlords are also that don't want to take these vouchers because there's such a stigma about houselessness.
Absolutely.
And so they don't want the vouchers. So then they raise the rent so that they don't have to take them, because by law they have to take the voucher. But if the rent's higher than the voucher, then they get off the hook.
Right.
So that is a big, there is no affordable housing.
There's no affordable housing. Look at me. I looked all year. I got excited about so many houses. But then you have the banks. They were out here buying up blocks of houses so that they could invest in them and make money off of them. So my little loan, FHA loan or whatever traditional loan, if I'm an owner, and the bank comes with cold hard cash, you forget your little loan. I got to go through too much to get you a house, so I'm going to give it to the big guys with the money, and then they get the house, fix it up, and now no more affordable living because they're going to jack the price up where nobody can afford it. So it's a really tough situation here in this country with houselessness, but we also have a problem with, being hungry too. And that has to do with being houseless and living in the street, living in your car, a lot of different ways people are trying to survive, and they're hungry, living in a beautiful house with empty cupboards. And that's where these young ladies come in at, from being about God's business. And you go out on the streets of Newark or wherever you go. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do, because I don't really know the full extent to explain it, but I know you feed a lot of people, and I know they're very happy to see you when you're out there. So give me a little bit about what you do, and what made you, what inspired you to do it, and what you guys experience when you're out there doing what you do.
Well, what motivated me to do it was I had a job at a community center, and people came in from all walks of life, mostly houseless people.
Right.
And I started preparing 3-course meals for them when they was used to TV dinners. Okay, so they would come, and if I didn't come in that day, they would call and say, well, I'm not coming if she ain't there, because I really put love into what I did. So, and they would tell me their situations. They would tell me they live in a shelter, they fixing them sandwiches, and they, and I'm fixing hot meals for them. And at the end of the day, I would give them plates to take with them. So when the job ended, God spoke to me and said, continue my work. This is just simple as that. He said, continue. So I started by myself. I went out and I looked. I did my research. It's right out your door. It's right in my backyard. So I fried some chicken and I took it.
Ooh, I like me some fried chicken. Everybody like fried chicken. Make everybody happy.
I took fried chicken and Kool-Aid, and it was a success.
Right.
So I said, God, but I need help because I'm lucky. I had a shopping cart. Mm-hmm. But I'm doing it relentless, and I'm seeing the feedback. They say, oh, Mommy, thank you. So I did, I started asking God to send people. And that's what he did. Because once you do what you called to do, God will do the rest.
Absolutely.
So this, in turn, how I met Daphne, I told her what I do. And she was like, what? She been always wanting to do something like that.
Right.
In this community, in Irvington. So Daphne came, then another person came, then another one. So we had a group of 7, because one moved. But we go out, we feed anybody that's hungry, is not homeless, houseless. We feed people on bus stops, because a lot of people don't have lunch money. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
They don't even have lunch money. They just got money to get to work, pay their rent, so we offer food to everybody.
That's beautiful.
Everybody, and they take it and they open it and they eat it, and it's just such a fulfillment. And we love to do what we do because it's so gratifying.
Yes.
Because they appreciate it, and they know us when we come in. We have our shirts and they know us, but we fix nutrition because I'm big on that.
Yeah. Right.
I'm big on mixing a protein, a starch, and a vegetable. Yes, a bottled water, a snack, and a fruit. They get a fruit every time.
I like that.
Okay, so because they're human beings.
Yes.
And when we go into the shelters, we really do it up because these people remember what collard greens taste like. Yeah. Stop playing these people out. So barbecue chicken and macaroni and cheese, they remember just because of the situation they're in now don't mean that they forgot what good food tastes like. Yes. So when we go inside and their eyes light up and we serve and we fellowship with them and they talk and sometimes they just want to talk.
Right.
They're talking. They say, God, what church y'all belong to? And each of us go to different churches, but we have one objection. We have one common denominator. Yes. We being about God's business.
Exactly. I really like that, and it really makes sense to me that you feed everybody, even people at the bus stop, because I saw a program where you had college students that were living in their cars and going to college. They were sleeping in, the dorm rooms or the gym areas until a certain time, and then they would get up and have to find showers. Like they have neighborhood areas that have showers where they go take a shower or sleep in their cars. Like so many people were living, like traveling, trying to find their life. They got a RV or a trailer or something. They're driving around and they find, trailer, park areas where they could park at or along some certain streets where nobody won't bother them or whatever, and they're living in places like that, tent cities, so when we talking about houselessness, we talking about by a whole lot of different means. I mean, I got people that I know that go to work every day that are houseless. They either live in some extended stay hotel or they're living in their car, but you'd be surprised they don't have a roof over their head because their job, the working poor. Yes. So I really think that I hope this show can shine some light on people who are uneducated about houselessness and why people are out here not having a roof over their head, because it's getting more expensive. It's getting more expensive. The economy is going up, but a lot of people pay is not going up. Exactly. So it causes people to not be able to buy food and to be houseless. So Daphne, tell me a little bit about your experience. You got a powerhouse, a person here that stepped forward and now you were working with her. Tell me about some of your experiences.
Well, Antionette is really the organizer of the organization. So I met her in the library and she told me the things that she was doing. And of course, as a librarian, I help people all the time, and I always love to talk to people and know about their situation and everything. So I actually will sorry.
You came out.
That's
you
all
came
right.
out with us. You
Yes,
came out.
yeah.
And
I
you
Came
saw
out with you. You came
saw the
out.
need.
I met you in NJ Pack.
Yeah.
Because we were volunteering there. That's how I met you.
Yeah.
So I know that you're the type of person that has a passion
Yes.
for helping
Yes.
people. You want to be
Um,
involved. You want to help people. We didn't get a chance to work together yet, but that's going to
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
You know. But I know that you like working with people. You introduced me to Antionette.
Yeah.
And that's how we talked about what you guys doing, and I felt that it would be a great thing for people to know about, for y'all to be, on the show. So you should talk about, like, what's some of the experiences out there, some of the people you talk to,
Well,
like, where are they from, and, like, how do they receive you when you're out there, just being a servant to them?
Well, a lot of people are really just grateful, and that's
Yeah,
one of
I
the
can see
things that keeps me going out there, because they are grateful. They always say God bless you, and they just love what we do, and they're just very grateful about the food and things
That you give them.
Yeah.
Yes, and let me tell you something. Food, the way to win anybody's heart is when they food, much less when they hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, I could not even be hungry. You give me some fried chicken and baked macaroni and cheese, and I'm happy all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say
But
something?
she does a whole lot because she helps me.
Right.
She really does. I do the planning, but she sets things up for me that maybe things like I don't know. So she
Right.
knows. So she is really my right hand.
Right.
She goes out every time. She interact with the people. You tell them about the story when you seen the little girl. See, when we go out, we really deal with adults, unless we doing the shelter, mom shelter,
Right.
which we do that also. We give school supplies and book bags
Right.
to women's shelter, battered women's shelter.
Wow.
So, but it's the things that when they come out and they see, they see a need. The need is so strong, and when she see this child, she seen just how strong.
Yeah.
The woman, tell her what the mother said to you.
Yeah, the mother was like, I really need this food for my child. And my heart just went out to them to see that this lady is on the street with her child and they have nothing to eat. And then she was so thankful, and the child came up to me and said, can I have something to eat? And it just really broke my heart.
It's like bittersweet because it breaks your heart to see it, but it's so fulfilling to be able to give them something to ease up whatever that hunger is for that moment. And one thing I don't understand about being hungry in this country is that so many schools, so many buffets, so many restaurants throw
away
massive amounts of food away.
Yes, they do.
I mean, I used to work in a public school, and if a kid touch a milk that's not even open, because they touched it, it has to go in the garbage. And what I don't understand about that, I get the sanitary, issue in that, and that may be a governmental or FDA standard or something like that. But my thing is wipe it down with something and let somebody come at the end of the day and collect some of that stuff for people who are hungry. I mean, that's tons of food. My mom always said to me when I was younger, she would say, waste not, want not. So if you want to waste it, that means you don't really want it. Mm-hmm. So then when you really don't have it, you're going to know that you need it. Mm-hmm. But there's so much, buffets, you pay for food there, and you can't take nothing out. Like if you put too much food on your plate, there's no box to take it home. They're going to dump it. Where somebody could take that food and bring it home and say, well, I'll eat it tomorrow for lunch. Mm-hmm. So it goes in the garbage. And to me, you talk about sanitizing things or the safety of sanitation when it comes to food. I would prefer to see a houseless person or a hungry person drink a milk or eat something that's wrapped up that you wipe down than for them to go get it out of the garbage can and eat it.
Yeah, because they will jump in that dumpster.
It don't make sense.
Oh, yeah.
It don't make sense. So you're not going to give it to me because if somebody touched it and it may not be sanitary, but they're going to go in the garbage and get it anyway. I think it's safer to just wipe it down and give it away. Right. So I really think that there's a need. There should be a need for, people to advocate for that. All this food that's being wasted, still closed. The milk is not even open. The sandwich is wrapped up and nobody ate it. They
And
should
then
have some
throw those
people to
sandwiches
know.
away when there's a shelters in place, and you can take. Sometimes we have so much food. We done fed the masses, and we are affiliated with different shelters that I can
Yes.
call them and say, listen, we got about 25 this, and or we got a lasagna. Remember I made that lasagna? They was like, bring that lasagna over here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's places that you can go. You just have to do your research and do it. When you walk out your door, you see these things.
Yes.
And if you have a heart, you will do what you have to do. God gave it to me. He said, Google shelters. And that's what I did.
Beautiful.
Google shelters near you. We went to Jersey City and fed St. Lucy's.
Oh, really?
We went-
Wow. Over in Jersey City.
Yes,
Yeah.
we took a
Wow.
3-course meal plus cupcakes and
Well, you
the
know
whole
what?
nine.
Speaking about what you do, I want to show a little video just to give a little insight on some of your work that you guys do when you're out there being about God's business. Play the video. I just got chills. I got chills. I mean, just watching that. I mean, like, all those people and your time. You know, people think that to be a part of making a difference, you always need a lot of money or you need a lot going on. No. But you really don't.
No.
You know, your time is worth more than money. Like you said, you came up with this idea because God spoke to you to go out and feed people and to go into the community to bring food to them. And then once you took that step forward, everybody else just started coming along.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, it's just like community vibes with BrownEyes. You know, I wanted to continue my community work. I've been doing community work for over 35 years. The pandemic hit. You know, I have another program called Young Leaders for Change that I was about to kick off. We couldn't do that because we didn't gather enough youth up, you know, to start the program. So we didn't have anything built up to continue through, the pandemic. So I wanted to find another way to reach out to the community and not just, being an entity, but I wanted to be a part of what any or everybody was doing in the community. I needed to find a way to not just say, well, this is my organization and this is what we do, but I wanted to touch everybody. I wanted to collaborate. I wanted to make people aware, talk about things like how could I be involved, and that's where the idea of this show came up, to bring people on, ordinary people from the neighborhood. And what I like about you guys is you bring out this food and you're not funded.
No.
You guys use your own money to buy this food, cook it yourself, and then go out there with a team and feed people.
Yes.
Now, if that ain't love and selflessness,
Yes.
I don't know what is.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And this is what I'm talking about. These people and corporations with money, if you're out there and you're looking at this show and you got funding and you want to do something for the community, this is the type of organization and the type of thing you want to support. being about God's business, because the funding will go to food that they're already doing and whatever it is to feed people that are in desperate need for it. I mean, the shelters they have gone to, the people that you walk up to on the bus stop, the people in the train stations, or wherever they may be. Or I might fall short on hard times one day and I only got enough money to pay for my rent and my car to get me where I have to go. Hey, Antionette, can I get a plate of food?
Yes,
I'm on hard times right now.
Yes.
So it really means a lot. You got a lot of people who are stepping forward. They're not being paid. They don't have no government assistance. They don't even have a team. But they decided, because they was in their house one day and said, something has to be done.
Yes.
And I have a skill and I have a dream and I'm going to just take it and start something and let it go where it may. But if I can help 2 people today, it might be 4 people tomorrow and 50 people next week. But I got to start somewhere. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little passionate about it.
Well, that's what we did. We didn't look for attention. We was consistent.
Right.
Every month we went out from April to December. But when it started getting cold, we switched over to school supplies, hats, coats, scarf, gloves. We do that.
Right. Yeah, I showed you. I had the book supplies, coats, drives. Whatever you guys are doing, please let me know. I will put it on a page, promote it. Let people know. Come out. I'm going to be going out with you guys. I want y'all to talk about that before the show ends.
Okay.
Y'all kicking off for the season this year to go back out.
Yes.
And I definitely want to go out there with you guys, because just watching, the video just sent chills through my spine.
Yep.
I felt, they say the Holy Spirit is a little run all through my body. I was just like, wow, people everybody don't just do stuff like that.
Right.
Exactly. So that has to be a passion or something in you to make you want to go out there and do that. And I'm sure you felt that way too, Kim.
Oh, yeah. And what these ladies do, this is what makes my work in nonprofit so successful. We can't do it because you talk about government funding. We might get a little bit more than you do, but it's still never enough.
Right.
To do what we need to do with these families.
Yes.
You talk about having staff. Our staff aren't paid. People in nonprofit don't get into nonprofit because the paycheck is good.
I know that's right. I worked for one.
Most of my staff are struggling. They go to food pantries. They do it because they love it. But if it wasn't for the community partnerships that we have, whether it was with the veterans or with the homeless families or, even in the South Bronx working with NYCHA residents, it's the community organizations like yourself that help those nonprofits keep the doors open. Because if you're coming in and you're helping with Christmas presents or back to school supplies or food, that's money that we can then take and try to put a little bit more money into getting a good case manager to come in there and provide those services that those families need. So it's hand in hand. We can't do it without the community. And like I said earlier, it's the community that gives us our wings. Because if we're not accepted in the community, any nonprofit that goes in any place and doesn't embrace the community organizations, the grassroots ones,
right,
then they're not going to be successful.
Exactly.
Because, I learned that in the South Bronx. If we didn't work with the community, no one was coming in through our doors. It was the community members that got people up, got them in line, and said, go down there and get a job. They trust people in the community.
Right.
So you have, you're that liaison to us. And, a lot of times we don't even know what funding is out there, but I want to talk to you after the show because there is some funding right now from the state of New Jersey in regards to food.
Great. Yes.
There's a grant out right now to give to agencies who to help with food insecurity throughout the state, because the state does realize that with the pandemic, there's been a lot of people that are hungry. And everything, I went to the store today, bought 3 things. It was $50. I don't know how people are doing it.
I hear about all kind of the chicken that used to be $13.99. I went in there, it was $29, $30.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened?
Yes.
So it's touching all of us. It's touching all of us, and we can't do it without each other.
Exactly.
Exactly, and it's so good to hear that there's funding. I hope that you guys can connect, and get that funding so that you can do that. I'm going to come out a couple of times with y'all this year. I'm doing the show, so I know there's a lot of other opportunities I'm going to have to do a lot of different things, but I love going out in the community. I meet people that way. I met Daphne that way. Like I can also be a part of helping and being a part of change. I've been like that since I was a little girl. Like I like being a part of change, and I like the fact that you said that the organizations need the community. If you are not grasping hands and including the community in what you're doing, you're not going to make it. No. Because you need the community to stand. People in the streets that know y'all, they will always vouch for y'all any day.
Yes.
Any day.
Yes.
Yeah. And
a lot of people tell us, if anything I can do for you, Antionette, anything. I mean, when I go to the shelters, they tell me that. They say all the shelters. We go to about 4 of them, and they said just let us know. I guess for writing up something or writing a letter, or whatever. Right. This is, you guys are so consistent with us helping in the clients, man. When we bring socks, a lot of people don't even have socks. We bring socks. Right. And we let them choose. We don't just throw things to them. We put it and say, what do you want? They're human beings. Don't forget that.
And it makes sense because you just said socks. And I want to give a shout out to my company employee resource group, Bridgers of New Jersey Transit, because we just did a Warm Their Soul sock drive to give socks to the Covenant House. And I'm so proud of them, employees of New Jersey Transit, coming together in that group to give people socks. Because people don't know how important socks is. Warm their souls. Give them something warm to eat and put something warm on their feet. And I was a part of that, and I loved it. I love going around, telling people that we have a drive, and it was going to be something that was going to be giving and helpful to somebody in need. Because you never know when you have a chance. I remember when I was younger, my mother had 2 children on her own that she, used to struggle with the bills. And it's a lot of times that Thursday or that Wednesday, the week of pay week, we done ran out of food.
Right.
So she had to cut them franks up, put it in some can of beans. Yep. Y'all know how it was.
Been there,
Friday nights.
Made mayonnaise sandwiches.
Ketchup sandwiches.
Tomato sandwich.
We had to make it to that Friday for that pay. You get paid every 2 weeks, so you good that first week. Good, let's get this. We got everything. That second week come in.
Mayonnaise sandwich.
You got the mayonnaise sandwiches and all that stuff.
Mystery meat in the can.
The mystery meat in the can.
Yes,
famous mystery meat. So, I know out there, we're doing what you do, both of you guys, dealing with people who are houseless and hungry. They got a lot of frustration, might be some mental illness. You might see some things, because when I was down south, I used to volunteer at a shelter, and 6 o'clock was intake time. And I used to see families living in their van, come out the van with the kids and everything to come in just to shower and sleep and eat for the night. But most shelters, you have to be out a certain time in the morning. And from what I hear, the reason why they do that is because they have this law: if you stay somewhere for more than 28 or 21 days, they got to get a court order to make you leave. So to not make people get comfortable in there, they put them out early, and whatever you're going to do, walk the streets, whatever, go to school, go to work, whatever you do, you can't come back until a certain time, and you can't stay there for longer than a certain amount of days. You then have to find another shelter. So my question to you all is, seeing these things, because sometimes I used to go home so hurt and unbelievable, some of the stuff I saw. Like what keeps you inspired, and how do you cope with the depression of it all?
Well, for me, what inspires me is my team, because they inspire me, because it can be overwhelming. Is the one that's doing everything. So they encourage me. So when they encourage me, I encourage them. So it's a joint effort. But mostly that inspires me are the people out there. Right. Because we know we're going to do a service, and they look forward to it. And just to know that we going out, we get excited. So we super excited about April 16th. It's like little kids. And we've been doing this for a minute, but it's so refreshing every time.
Right.
Because it's new folks we're going to meet out there. It's a whole set of new people out there that's hungry.
It's a whole set of new people out there, and plus, a lot of people don't want to come off the street because they're afraid. Some of those shelters are dangerous.
Yeah, they
You
fight
know,
them, they
and
beat 'em up.
some of them have to go under strict, regulations when they do go inside, so they don't want to do that. You know, and then now we don't have enough room in shelters. So it's a lot of people on the street, and we need a lot of people to come out. How do you cope with the families and everybody that you work with?
You know, it's funny. I worked with the families for 13 years, and I burnt out. And that was before people were talking about burnout.
Yeah.
And I left. You know, I said, I'm not doing social services anymore. I don't want to be a social worker. I don't want to be. I can't.
It's heavy.
And that's why we got into workforce development. But you can't run from it. Like you said, when it's your calling, you can't run from it.
You can't run from it.
So what I've learned to do is, you just have to, like you said, rely on people that are there with you. Rely on your team, and a lot of self-care. You've got to. I didn't know that when I was early in my career. I was going to save the world. I was going to save everybody. I was going to go
I
do
had
that.
ass on my chest too.
And now I realize it's like I give people tools to help themselves, but the only person I can save is me. So I have to put things in place in my life so that I don't get stressed out, I don't get burned out, because I never want to get to that point where I can't give back.
Right.
And coming back to this housing program that I was first started in, I realized it's an honor to come back, and I'm not messing it up again by burning out. So I take each day at a time. But I also look at the successes. I try to focus more on the success stories, because not everyone is ready. I used to walk up on homeless veterans in the street and sit down with them and talk to them and try to get them to come in. Some people aren't ready, and that's okay.
Right.
But it's meeting people where they are at that point, respecting where they are,
Yeah.
and trying to help them to get where they want to go, not where you want them to go.
Right.
So those little successes that family might have, like getting up and getting all the children to school on time, that's a success. Getting that job, it might not be the job that I think is best for that person, but it's a job that they are willing to take and willing to do. So just celebrating their successes. So, and not looking for those, the big successes come.
Right.
But like with all of us, it's step by step.
Right.
There's no race. You got to go through the paces in order to get where you got to go.
Right.
And I think a lot of times when we are in these caring fields, we want to see it right away. But we have to
Right.
realize it's going to happen with the support of the community, but we have to do it and allow it at the pace of the person that we're trying to help.
Absolutely, and that means a lot. And the reason why it means a lot is because a lot of people are ashamed because of their position in life, where they are. They feel like they fell off. I'm sure family members might have ridiculed them. Look at your life. Is this what you want to do? Because maybe they made a bad choice, or maybe something didn't work out for them, and now they're in this situation and they feel like everybody is looking down on them and making them, like they're nothing. It's your fault, blame and shame, and so people don't want to come and face that.
Yeah.
But like you said, if I come, to where you are, and you allow me that human element,
Right.
and allow me to make mistakes. So like we live in a culture right now. I was just saying that other day. This cancel nation, this culture cancel
Cancel
you for every little mistake you make,
exactly.
everything you do, everything you didn't do, you didn't say, everything you do say. Like the world we live in right now is reminding me of the cave days where they all used to gather together and watch two people to the death. Like, yeah, get them. Like nobody cares anymore. All you got to do is say the wrong thing, make a mistake, do the wrong thing, and all of a sudden you're a piece of this or a piece of that.
Yeah.
But no, we got to give people a human element. You want to know why? Because most people talk like that are the main ones that want somebody to give them another view or a second chance when they mess up.
Right.
Exactly.
We all gonna have our chance.
We all gonna.
So we have to give room for people to make mistakes.
Yes.
So I like what you were saying. It's about respect. So when we go out and we respect folks. Point blank.
Yes.
You understand, by the grace of God, that go you. So when we see these people, we know that could be us. Be
Yes.
5
It could
minutes
be
away.
any of us.
We
It could be.
respect. We hear them out.
Yeah.
They say, "Let me talk to you." We talk. We wait. We ask them, would they like prayer?
Beautiful.
We serve a community of just Mexicans that's out there on Springfield Avenue that be out there early in the morning looking for work. We will not leave Irvington community without feeding them first.
That's beautiful, and I'm sure they appreciate y'all
Yes,
too.
yes.
So, I want people to get involved with what you're doing, and everything, and I'm going to give you guys a chance to, tell them how to connect with you and where they can find you at, and if they want to donate or volunteer with you guys, But right now, I want to move into a little moment with King T Finesse. He going to give us a little bit, about some music. So let's roll with King T Finesse. It's time for Moments in Music with King T Finesse.
This is King T Finesse with Moments in Music. I'm going to talk to you real briefly about music streaming and what it pays, because music streaming pays in tenths of a penny. Okay, so I'm going to go over just a couple of sites, to let you know how much they pay, and then I'll let you know what you actually need to make a lot of money in streaming. All right, so the first one is Napster Music. Napster Music pays 0.019. Tidal pays 0.0125. Apple Music 0.0073. Deezer 0.0064. Spotify 0.0043. Amazon 0.0040. Pandora 0.0013. YouTube 0.00049. Right? So that's not too bad. You get a tenth on a penny. But these are the percentages for those particular platforms. There's a lot of different platforms out here that you can use to distribute music, but those are some of the top ones. So if you're into really trying to make a lot of money, you need to have a lot of streams. So if you have 1 million streams and you're streaming your music on Spotify, 1 million streams on Spotify equals $3,970. If you're streaming your music 1 million streams on Apple Music, that would equal $7,830. If you stream 1 million streams on YouTube, which they don't really pay a whole lot, you'd only make $740. If you streamed on Amazon, you made about $7,400 on Amazon. And the best one of all is Tidal. If you stream 1 million songs on Tidal, you actually make $12,540. And this has been Moments in Music, King T Finesse. Thanks.
Thank you for giving us that Moments in Music about that money, because I'm going to tell you, speaking of, Houseless and Hungry, there's a lot of starving artists out there. And a lot of artists could look at this information if you're out there and you're trying to stream and you wanted to know and you never thought about looking up, what the best sites are for streaming. I kind of like Tidal because they got, I got music out there, but some people just have shows or different things they're trying to stream to make money. And like 1 million streams, you would have to make 1 million streams on a platform, a plethora of different videos in order to get good money. So it takes time. I see a lot of people out there that's doing it. So if you're a struggling artist and you're looking to make money off of it, you could take some of King T Finesse tips, and we wish you luck and hope you much success with doing what you're doing. So I want to come back to being about God's business and our social worker, Kim Elvin, and I want y'all to tell the people, how do we find you? If people want to donate, people want financially, food, clothes, whatever they want to do, how do they get in touch with being about God's business? How do they connect with you?
Well, we have a Facebook page.
Okay.
It's Being About God's Business, if you look it up on Facebook. And we also have an email address, godsbusiness64@gmail.com.
godsbusiness64@gmail.com.
So if you want to be a volunteer or you want to, contribute in some way, you can reach us at that email address or reach us on Facebook.
Facebook and Gmail, please call them up. And if you want to get involved, and I know you do, any kind of small way is a big way. Whatever you do helps out, because the penny we didn't have today is a penny more we have for tomorrow. So whatever you want to do, or however you want to get involved to help out, is always welcome. Kim, is there any thing you want to give to the people here?
Well, I commend you ladies for what you're doing. I'm asking the rest of the community.
Give them a round of applause.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I want to, put out there to the rest of the community members, be volunteers, be mentors. If you have a skill, you said you love to cook. If you have a skill that you can share with the community, use it. If you are someone who employs people, you're a hiring manager, hire people from your community. Yeah. If you're a landlord who has apartments, stop with the nonsense. Rent to the people in your community.
Yes.
Make housing affordable.
Yes, make housing affordable. I agree with that.
And then hold our elected officials accountable. Okay, we vote for them. Yes. They come out. They want to shake our hand. They win. Okay, stay on them. Demand living wages for people. Minimum wage is ridiculous. It's the federal minimum wage is still $7.25. That makes no sense. Yeah. Equal education. Where's the equality in our education system? Yes. In our inner cities, we want the same education so our children have the same opportunities.
Yes.
And we need affordable housing and rental subsidies.
Yes, we need affordable housing so that people can stop being houseless, and then they can focus on getting their food and their life together, so that we have less people on the streets.
Yeah.
So that is very true.
Reach out to them. We voted for them. And you didn't even have to vote for them. They're still representing our communities. Make them work for what they asked us to work for.
Yes, make them work for you. Especially, we come out for the presidential vote, but we don't come out for local voting where it really counts, because the local votes is what they're going to be doing for you right here in your county and in your community. And I hear crickets when I go in there to vote. So make sure you go out. I know you think voting don't make a difference. Maybe that's on the presidential level or whatever. You feel like all this scamming and things go on. But on the local level, it's very important that you vote and you bring in the office who you want in there, and then come out to a meeting, support in all kind of other ways by spreading the word about things that's going on. So I want to thank you all for coming on the show. Give it up for Kim Elvin, Daphne Bishop, Antionette Green, being about God's business. And I want to thank you for tuning in. We're having a show every month, and we're going to be having a halftime show called Catch the Vibe Live that you could tune into at the end of this month, starting the end of this month, where I'm going to be interviewing even more people, that are doing things in the community. But tonight's show was produced by myself and my co-producer, Kirsten Fulda. We're filming and recording at Bravery Studios. Shout out to Bravery Studios. Bravery up. Music by King T Finesse and video by Shalik at the Beat Shop. And I just want to say, if you want to support Community Vibes with Brown Eyes, if you feel like you want to give financially, we do have a cash app, which is $ Brown Vibes. You will see that in the description of this video. And also, if you want to get a tangible for supporting us, you can now get t-shirts, mugs, hats, and cups. And that will help bring stream and fundings for us to continue to do what we're doing with people that are in the community and bringing them on to make you aware and to be able to get involved. So right now with that, I just want to thank you all. We're going to lead out with It Is What It Is, because it is what it is, and it's time for us to get up and get out, connect with each other, and be beneficial with our gifts to help other people in life. So thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and please, please, please share so that other people can see this video and also be a part of Community Vibes with Brown Eyes. Until next time, see you later.
It is what it is, it is what it is, it is what it is. I'ma keep it moving, it is what it is, it is what it is, it is what it is. Keep it moving, yeah, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Another day comes under the sun. Looks like it's gonna be a challenging one, but who said it would be easy? Taking it slow, moving mowing the lawn, trying to get with the goal. Look outside, the clouds ride. Rainy days go away, so I keep my stride. Gather up my stuff and step out the door. Life every place in my face, hardcore. Roll with it, bounce with it, shake with the flow. Ain't nothing gonna stop me, it's on with the show. I'd rather be late than never, so whatever. Like a chess game, I move so clever. It is what it is, it is what it is, it is what it is. I'ma keep it moving, it is what it is, it is what it is, it is what it is. Keep it moving. Yeah, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Got a checkmate cause my check is late. Work hard for my money, it's no debate. The rent is due and the light bill too. Mouths to feed or it's a family feud. Collectors dialing, wanting pay. Ring ring till they go away, what can I say? I'm on my grind, running for time. Holding it down, trying to get what's mine. Times are hard but I won't give up. The sweet in between the tough and the rough. I gotta stay strong and handle my biz. It is what it is when you're trying to win this. It is what it is, it is what it is, it is what it is. I'ma keep it moving, it is what it is, it is what it is, it is what it is. Keep it moving, yeah, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Life is better when I keep it moving. Things feel great when I'm in my grooving. Haters play on my left nerve, come get served. Cutting off, kicking straight to the curb. Drama, coming from the baby mama. Steer away from a thing called karma. Ups and downs, friends and foes. How it plays out, nobody knows. I'm running for my life, trying to do right. God, keep me in your will and in your light. Say a prayer every day for my inner sight. You keep me from the snakes who love to bite. There's so much to life that's going on. You're here today, then tomorrow you're gone. I gotta keep moving and weather the storm. It is what it is, be it right or wrong. It is what it is, it is what it is, it is what it is. I'ma keep it moving, it is what it is, it is what it is, it is what it is. Keep it moving, yeah, keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving out. And I'm out.